cellar. If you want to come over here, it's a really cool view. You can take pictures. So you can see we have 56 of these tanks in here. And what is so unique about this particular cellar? Have you all been in a fermentation cellar before?
No.
Well, typically you would see rows and rows of stainless steel tanks. These are French oak tanks, which is really cool. Not to be confused with barrels. These are not, have nothing to do, they're not aging barrels. These are fermentation tanks made out of oak. Oh, pretty cool. So what happens, so the To Kalon cellar is only here for processing fruit from the To Kalon vineyard, okay? So we don't make Pinot here or Chardonnay, only this Bordeaux fruit that's out here. This is our reserve program, our Cabernet, our Bordeaux program, our Merlot is made here too. So this is just for the To Kalon vineyard, which means that once we pick, the grapes literally have a tractor ride here. They don't have to get trucked halfway through the state. They're not going to sit in the sun for 10 hours and then your bricks is off the chart. So as soon as they pick, they're able to process it in here. And because this is a gravity cellar, the grapes just come up here in these two elevators. In the meantime, of course, you can see that each one of these tanks has its own catwalk attached to it. So you can pull your equipment in front of whichever tank you're going into that day. So there's a crew in here setting up, and they will set up a sorting table and a destemmer attached to it. And the grapes will literally just be dumped on the sorting table, which is a conveyor belt, and there's two people standing across from each other. It's about this wide, actually, and they're going to inspect every cluster. So anything that you don't want in your wine is going to get pulled out at that point. So any leaves that are left over, any stems, tomato worms, like whatever is in there that you don't want in the wine, gets sorted out there. And it's pretty, you know, there's about 10 people or so, but 5 on either side. So it goes through a lot of pairs of eyes. And then there's say you're going into this tank, the sorting table will be set up from this hole right to about here. And then on this end would be a destemmer, which is basically, it's a machine that has a wheel in it with these kind of claw-like attachments. And they rip the stems off the cluster. And at the same time, they puncture a hole into the grapes so that the juice can be easily released. And then they just plop them in here via gravity, so we don't have to actually pump our clusters through anything, and there's no blade action involved or anything.
So just the grapes wind up down inside?
Yeah, so just the grapes, not the stems. But sometimes there's whole cluster fermentation too, but for this program, they typically use the destemmer. And then, so the grapes are just plopped in here, and then we inoculate pretty quickly with whatever yeast is for this program, and then the fermentation process starts right away. Put the temperature to about 70, 73 degrees, and because the yeast likes it nice and warm, and then the yeast starts to eat the sugar that's in the grapes, which gives you the alcohol. So there's a direct, as the sugar's going down, the alcohol is going up. When there's nothing left to eat for the yeast just dies, and the wine is dry. So any idea how long fermentation takes? Another trick question.
A month.
1 week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 1 week later and you have wine. So 7 to 10 days only.
So you don't smush the grapes? You don't smash the grapes?
No.
They just get dumped in there?
Yeah, get dumped in there. But we, of course, where do we get the color from? The skin, exactly. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave the skins in here for an additional 30 days after the fermentation process is over. And then during that time, we perform pump overs. It's literally what it sounds like. We hook the hose to the bottom of the tank and we pump the wine over onto itself, over the skins, so that the skins have the tendency to want to rise to the top and form this hard cap. We're going to break up that cap. And in this, for our program here, we do that by pump over. So you just simply pump the wine over and then it moves the grapes evenly through the tank. So it gives you nice color extraction and of course flavors, phenols. All the flavors come from the skin too. So,
and then when you ferment, you close the lid?
Yes and no. I mean, you do overnight, but then sometimes you have to check it all the time. Sometimes the yeast is like a super yeast and it'll bubble over, and you know, so for the most part they leave it open, but sometimes they leave it closed. It depends on the program too. And certainly when they're doing pump overs, it's open. But yeah, so total in here for after fermentation, 30 days. So total in here is about 35 to 40 days. That's it. Yeah. I'm actually going to show you a really quick video. I would show you the real deal if it was harvest, but since it's not, I'm going to just run this.